Hello, everybody. My name is Elvis Ibarra, and I am doing a whiteboard challenge for week 4 of Lambda Labs. And my interviewer is Joseph Stanfield, and my task is called Bitcoin trading. The problem is you're trying to make your fortune by trading Bitcoin. Suppose you want to automate this task. Write a function, find max profit that receives an array of today's Bitcoin prices. Your function should return the maximum profit you can make from a single buy and sell. You must buy first before selling. Shorting is not allowed. Examples are, they give us an array of Bitcoin prices. So the first price, 1050, 270, 1540, 3800, and then 2. A find max profit given this array should return 3,530, which is the maximum profit you can make, which would be you buy at this 270 price and then you sell at 3,800. And that is why that returns that. So we are going to need a function.
And I do want to point out that shorting should be sorting. They seem to have a typo there.
Okay.
So you can't use the sort method, obviously, right? Because you're buying and then selling.
Right. Okay. So let's write a const find max profit. We'll make that equal to a function. It's going to take in an array. I'll call it Bitcoin prices like they have there. And then this is going to return the profit. So return, okay.
Yeah, it'll be returning the maximum profit that you can make. So
maximum profit. Okay, so since it's an array, we're going to need some array methods, and we are probably going to need to check and loop through each of these to find out what is going to be our maximum profit. So for example, I would want to check everything except for the last one. It doesn't make sense to check the last one because that's the last one. You can't sell afterwards. So I would want to check everything except for this one, and then I can push those into an array and then just find the maximum one of that, and that should give me the answer. So if I pseudocode that, I'm going to do a for loop through Bitcoin prices, and then each, oh, okay, because if I did that, that might.
You're on the right track with a for loop.
Okay, so for each one, if I buy at I, let's call it I, and sell at every remaining item in the list, and then I add those values to an array, and then I select the maximum.
Right.
Then outside of this for loop, I'm gonna have a profits array. I'm gonna call this my profits array. And I'm gonna set it equal to an empty array for now. This maximum number that I'm gonna get for each of these, I'm gonna drop it into, I'm gonna push the maximum into the profits array. I'm sure there's an easier way to do this, which is what's coming up to me right now.
Yeah, that's okay.
When I'm done with that, all I have to do is find the maximum number of the profits array using a max array method. And that should be the answer. So if I'm thinking about this right, just before I code it, I'm going to go through each of these. I'm going to, as a for loop, I'm going to subtract. This is the buy price and this is the sell price. So if I subtract, I'll get a negative number, which means I lost money. So this minus this negative, this minus this, I'm sorry, this minus this is positive, but I'm going to flip it because it's going to mean that I lost money if I sell at a lower number. So anyway, this minus this flip gives me positive $540, and so on and so forth. The maximum one of those is going to get pushed into this. After I get through all of them, I can't go backwards. So I have to go, a 270 is only going to do these three, 1540 only these two, 300 is only this one.
Right.
Okay. And then the maximum from this is the maximum. And yeah, okay. I think that I've logically solved this. Now I have to code it. So cool. So I don't need this. Okay. So let's define our profits array. And then let's do a for loop through Bitcoin prices. So zero. I is less than Bitcoin prices dot length, and then I plus plus. And these are colons. And now, before I loop, I'm just going to sanity check myself here. And console log me all of the things in Bitcoin prices. So I want to console log I. And let me use this as my example. Take this up. Oh, little typo there. Okay. Oh. Bitcoin. Am I spelling something wrong?
I can tell you that on line 13, you're going to want to start at the 0th position of Bitcoin prices. So well, if profits array is technically like your max profit,
right?
Then you have to start at the second position. So like so it'd be the second position in that array, because that's the only time you can sell, obviously, would be the second position in the array, because you have to buy and then sell. So you might need two variables here. One showing the price that you can buy at, and one the price that you can sell at. And you have to set both of those two. You have to set this before max profit. I guess it wouldn't matter with hoisting.
Okay.
So if this is what you would buy at. So this would be like your minimum price, right?
Yeah.
And this would start at the Bitcoin arrays, or whatever array is passed in, 0th position.
Okay.
So you need to set this. You need to set this to the 0th position. Yeah. So that's what you would have when you buy. And then you'll need a max profit.
this one will start at the first because that's the first time you can sell, right?
Yeah, right. And that has to subtract by that. You have to subtract the maximum sale price would be what you would subtract minimum buy price from that, and that would give you initial starting point for your for loop.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of like a shortcut to what I was doing by just looking. Okay, I kind of see what you're saying.
I mean, just let me know if you need any more advice. You're doing good, though.
Okay, how much time do I have left?
You have 4 minutes.
Oh, that went fast. Okay. Prices. All right. Okay. So I'm taking my min. I have it solved in my head. I'm struggling
Of course.
into the syntax that I need here because I know what I have to do. Hold on. Where's my? Oh, I'm not even invoking my function. I was over here figuring out why I couldn't even check why I wasn't seeing my console log.
Yeah.
I was too focused on solving the problem. Okay. All right. Jeez. Okay. So console log, what I want to do is, so that's why I got sidetracked a little bit.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. Okay. So what I wanted to do is, now that I have these, I wanted to go through each of them and then do at every value. So for the first one, it's just console logging it. But what I wanted to do is take Bitcoin prices of I and say, okay. So I kind of see what you were saying here, but
do it however you feel like you do it however you feel comfortable.
Okay. Yeah. Let me just finish trying kind of what my thought process was, and then we can talk about the solution that was there. Because I was now that I see what's going on here, what I wanted to do was take my Bitcoin price of I and then do a for loop and then J is less than Bitcoin prices dot length plus 1 minus 1. And this is probably going to take longer as a runtime solution because there's 2 for loops as opposed to the 1, because I think that the method that you have is more efficient than what I'm thinking. But this is just kind of how I have it solved in my head right now. So then I can do the profit equal to the Bitcoin price at I. I'm selling that one, so at J minus the Bitcoin price at I. And what this is doing, or what it should be doing, is giving me the profit if I were to sell, if I bought at 1050, the profit selling here, 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 and here. And then that should console log me the profit. run. If I run out of time, that's fine. Let profit equals unexpected token 22.4. Oh, why is it not liking that? That shouldn't fix it, but for let. Oh, I'm not giving this another. I'm not putting this in here. What? Oh, this is a 0. Okay. Bitcoin price is not defined. Oh, Bitcoin prices. And then I need to console log my profit outside of here. If it's defined, it might not be because it's outside of there. No, it's not. It's okay. I was gonna take. I know what's going on. It's only one of these that I need that isn't going to change, that I need to populate my array with. And, oh, it's doing it for all of them. Okay, so then, yeah, so then I would find the maximum one of each of these because it's doing it for every number, compare them, and my answer, which was 3530, is right here, 3530. So I know I'm probably out of time, but what I was going to do is take each of these, put them into a list. 1, 2, 3, 4, because there's 4 places that you can possibly, you can buy here, buy here, buy here, or buy here. And those are the only 4. So I'm taking the maximum of each of my answers, putting them into array, pulling the max, just 3530, which gives me the answer. But I'm not going to be able to finish on time. But you can kind of see my logic over here.
I can, yeah. So, I mean, it does make sense, and so it would have worked if you had been given more time. But I did just share the solution with you. So you essentially would have set 2 variables, minimum price, and you would set that to the first position of that prices array. And then another one called max profit, you would set that to the prices at the second position minus minimum price. And you would do a for loop through prices.length. For you, it would have been Bitcoin prices or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then you would have set a variable current price equal to prices iteration, right? And then you would have done max profit is equal to math.max. And then you would have passed current price minus min price and max profit. What max max is doing is just choosing it's returning the largest of those 2. And then min price would have been equal to math.min, current price, min price. And that would have returned the lowest number of those 2. So then it would have just returned max profit. So that's essentially what that was going to do. So I did share that with you. So
yeah, it is
quick.
Yeah, it is quick. Yeah. It's like one less for loop, so it would be a less time complexity. In terms of that, it's not a very complex or a space complex problem. So I would say it's O to the N probably for both. And that wraps up my whiteboard. Thank you, Joe, for interviewing me. And
yeah, great job.
Thanks, everybody.
Cool.
All right, I stopped recording, I think.
Nope, it's still recording.